Chill. Y'all already know that there was a time that Blu Cantrell was heavily linked to Jay-Z. Blu Cantrell, on her part, was quite vocal about the crush she had on Jay and said that if she ever got the chance to be with him, she was gonna make the most of it. Well, word is that they did end up getting together right before Jay-Z and Beyonce began stepping out publicly.
No, what happened is he approached me at an award show that I did.
Okay.
And just pursued me and kept calling me and eventually started dating.
Shout out to Blu Cantrell, but yeah, no, he was dating Blu,
Wow,
but he had another woman that was pregnant that was about to come out with her pregnancy.
And when I tell you this caused a major feud between Beyonce and Blu Cantrell, baby, Beyonce referenced her in some of her songs, and even Blu at some point had to speak out about Beyonce referencing her and says that it was very immature. But here's where things get a little messy. Blu released a song shading Jay-Z, and she allegedly had another song in the drafts taking shots at both him and Beyonce for using her name Blu for their daughter. However, the song never saw the light of day, and not too long after, she was found running in the streets saying that someone had tried to poison her. So did someone actually come after Blu, and did Beyonce and Jay-Z somehow have a hand in all of this because of her history with them? Let's get into this because there's just a lot of things coming out that we never thought that we'd hear.
I really like him though. And I don't care who he's dating. I always had a crush on him though.
One thing that we can never deny is that Blu Cantrell was only on the R&B scene for just a little while. She had a couple of hits that made her stand out on her debut album, but it still isn't talked about enough. When she first came onto the scene, she started out as a background singer, working with industry big shots like Faith Evans, Aaron Hall, and the Diddler himself.
My mom wouldn't let me do it until I was 18. And I left home probably around 17 and went to New York City to try to pursue it. I had a lot of odd jobs. I did voiceovers, I did backgrounds, I sang at jazz clubs. I did background for P. Diddy, Bad Boy. I did a lot of things, to try to get to where I wanted to be. I'd been in studios several times before. I'd been robbed and ripped off.
She was introduced to music producer Tricky Stewart, the head of Red Zone Entertainment, by Usher. And one day when she was with Stewart and his girlfriend in their home, she sang a song that she had written in front of L.A. Reid and his staff, and L.A. Reid just offered her a contract right then and there. In fact, there was actually a bidding war with several labels wanting to sign her to them, but Reid bid the highest and Blu eventually signed to Arista Records. In 2021, she dropped her debut album, So Blue, and it became a hit, especially in North America. Critics were talking about it until it was eventually certified gold by the RIIA and Music Canada. The lead single from the album, Hit 'Em Up Style, Ooh, snagged her 2 Grammy nominations in 2002 and also peaked at number 2 on the US Billboard Hot 100. That one album took Blu from being relatively unknown in the industry to being a breakout star, and a lot of people were looking forward to see what else she had going on. So when she dropped her second album, Bittersweet, it was also well received and even earned her another Grammy nomination for Best R&B Album, even though it didn't do as well in the US as her first album. Her single from the album, Breathe, which was a collaboration with Sean Paul, is still her best charting single, and that song still holds up today. But before she got a chance to release her third album, she was dropped from Arista Records because the label somehow forgot to renew her contract. And Blu revealed that it wasn't the only thing the label forgot to do when it came to her career. Y'all, she talked about her second album not doing well in the US as it did overseas. And Blu was convinced that one of the main reasons for this was because they didn't really put any effort in promoting her album and the lead track, even when they saw how well it was doing in other countries.
Okay.
And that's when all of this chaos happened, and there was a shuffle, and they weren't doing their work, but that's why there was really no promotion push in the U.S. for that. Happened right when my Breathe was released,
yeah,
and that might be why it didn't do as well there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But everywhere else in the world, it did. The only place it didn't go number one and go number one for 5 or 6 weeks, it would go 14 weeks in other countries.
Blu said that part of the reason for this was because some label politics, and other reasons was probably because of the situation she got into with Jay-Z before the release of her second album. She and Jay-Z started to get to know each other right around the time that he was courting Beyonce. At that same time, Beyonce was finding her feet as a solo artist. And in 2003, when Blu dropped her follow-up album to a successful debut album, Beyonce's debut album, Dangerously in Love, hit the shelves. The only place Blu's album didn't go #1 at was in the US, and it stayed on the charts for about 14 weeks. Word is that this rivalry on the charts did not sit well with Beyonce, and she also didn't like rumors floating around about Blu and Jay-Z at the time. At first, whenever Blu Cantrell was asked about what she had going on with Jay-Z, she would skip over the question and straight up not talk about it. But that was until the infamous Wendy Williams interview dropped. I don't know, but Wendy has a way of getting celebs to feel some tea that they don't normally want to spill. And the same thing happened with Blu Cantrell.
I know. No, I can't answer that. I can't answer that.
Oh, she's touching him off the neck. Look. You see?
Why do people not want to let the Jay-Z Blu Cantrell thing go?
Because, honey, that was a fabulous little high point in your career.
Well, what about Beyonce and Jay-Z? That's fabulous.
She never flat out denied anything, but there was a hint that there was something going on between the two of them.
You think it would last, though?
What, me and him?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you're above 25.
Why, he needs somebody younger than that?
At the end of the day, yeah.
Why do you say that?
Because I think at the end of the day, a younger, less savvy to the ways of the world broad.
Somebody a little bit more naive.
You said it, not me.
You could have.
Do you know what I mean?
But the drama between them was far from over. Beyonce dropped Baby Boy with none other than Sean Paul. On the song, Beyonce sings "Let Me Breathe," to which many seemed to think that she was taking a dig at Blu, who had already done a song with Sean Paul, also called "Breathe." Fans have noticed that Beyonce has mentioned many times how possessive she can be over Jay-Z. Like in the song Ring the Alarm that dropped in 2006, she sang, "I've been through this too long, but I'll be if I see another chick on your arm." Well, the thing is, Beyonce has been doing this from the start because one of her songs from her debut album is called Signs, and she said, "I was in love with the Sagittarius. I wish he was a Virgo, the same sign as me, and knows how to show me love because I've been hurt by a Pisces." This might have been just the coincidental thing, but fans noticed that Blu Cantrell is a Pisces, while Jay-Z is most likely the Sagittarius that she was talking about. And when Blu heard this, she didn't let it slide, and she responded to the song in an interview saying, "I'm an adult, she's younger, and if she's doing what you're saying, then she's being a little immature. Maybe she's trying to do it to get press, but I want to make her understand if she goes there with me, it's the wrong move." Then she added, "I don't have any animosity towards Beyonce. I don't like that whole rivalry type of thing. Maybe we should get on stage and battle it out live." But she doesn't want to do that. Blu also hinted that if Beyonce felt some type of way about her and Jay-Z, then she should just take it out on the man because going after the girl wasn't it at all. But things between Beyonce and Blu didn't exactly die down after this, when it was revealed that both Jay-Z and Beyonce named their child Blu. Jay-Z came out defending the claim that he has always liked the color and wanted to name his daughter after it. I don't know about y'all, but isn't it a little weird to name your child after someone your husband has once dealt with? Like, weren't there other colors that you ever thought were nice? All of this seems a bit shady, and it looks like Blu Cantrell also felt some type of way about it because she took a dig at Jay in her song called SOS, which was released a few months after Blue Ivy was born. She sang, "It's an SOS, Hova, tell me where you at." And just so you know, Hova is a nickname Jay-Z's been using for over 2 decades now. In the song, she also sang, "When I was your girl, you were my man. I stood by your side when no one else was there. All the way to the end, if you ever need me, but instead, it seems you left me for dead. What you said with your mouth, you didn't show with your actions, and foolishly, I believed it. Now I'm the one who has to deal with the letdown, broken promises that you made to me." Sources were saying that Blu had another song lined up that was going to take more shots at Jay-Z and Beyonce and gave a little bit more insight into what happened in their relationship. And almost as soon as she said that she was coming for them, Blu Cantrell was found roaming around the streets of Santa Monica screaming that someone had poisoned her with gas. It got to the point where officers were even called and she had to be checked at a nearby hospital. Since then, things have sort of gone downhill for Blu. The third album that she's been teasing about never got out, and she's been pushed to the side by label after label. And people are saying that it wasn't a coincidence at all that Jay-Z and Beyonce may have pulled some strings to make sure they never had to deal with her. Some even went as far as saying that naming their child after Blu Cantrell was strategic so that anytime somebody tried to find info on her, something related to their daughter was more likely to pop up.
Who I really want to talk to is Blu Cantrell. Jay-Z worked very hard to erase you and me, just like he did Elle, just like he did his relationship with R. Kelly, just like he did his relationship with Aaliyah. She was definitely blackballed, but she was blackballed for a reason. You made a choice to work with someone, and you probably didn't realize how nefarious he was when you got involved with him. I didn't.
Fans are also saying that it doesn't look like a coincidence anymore, that most artists who look like they were going to be strong competition always seem to have faded away overnight or met suspicious circumstances, and Blu Cantrell might have just been another casualty. These artists always screaming women power, but yet they destroy any woman that's considered competition. Beyonce is so insanely insecure. It's odd that people can't see it, and she has an issue with everybody that had a thing with Jay-Z. I am never going to get over the fact that Jay-Z named his child Blue and he used to date Blue. Then y'all acted surprised when Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce. They look like sisters. But what I really want to know is what your thoughts are about this. Do you think that Beyonce and Jay-Z might have something to do with Blu Cantrell fading away from the scene like that? Share your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, baddies.